A lot of first-gen students have very tight family connections, and the family often expects students to continue participating in a lot of events or providing support to the family when they have competing demands from their academic life. Because again, there may not be an understanding how demanding the academic life can be if the support structure hasn't gone through that. So I think there has to be a lot of open discussion, a lot of open and honest discussion.
Time management is hard because, you know, we're still young and we really don't know, even if we're studying and working all the time, if that's exactly what we're supposed to be spending all of our time on. So I think that's hard, but I think over time you see the success of some of it and how sometimes it's not successful. And so I think there's a balance that has to be found, and it takes time and it takes experience and patience.
Life is not a sprint. Sometimes it's made up of shorter races, and sometimes you just have to do a little bit at a time in order to reach that bigger goal.
The mentorship for first-gen students is really different. We have different questions, and we typically don't come from a home environment where those discussions happened over many years. If our parents went to college and university, they would be a very good resource. But if they haven't had that experience, they are not the first resource for us.
Some of my biggest challenges were probably not having that mentorship that maybe other people do have in their family. In my program, there are quite a few people that, you know, they are really close with a vet, or their parents are veterinarians or doctors, and they have that mentorship, that support system that they've had it since they were young. And I've sort of had to go out my way more and network a lot more, use my resources and contacts to get what I needed.
Within vet schools, we are now setting up a lot of mentoring programs. And I think it would be important for a student to say, I am a first-gen student. Would there be a mentor who has gone through that similar experience? Because just the shared experiences often really connect people.
Whenever you go to a school and no one in your family has done that yet, and I feel like everyone is lonely whenever you first start, but finding your people is definitely something I find that helps me, but it's still a challenge, and it's something like you have to share your story and accept and be willing to hear other people's stories. And so once you get past that and are able to make those connections, I think it really helps and it makes you a lot more confident.
It's also important to educate the non-first-gen students on what it means to be a first-gen student, so that that dialogue isn't awkward, so that there's good understanding of the questions that may be brought forward by someone that a non-first-gen student may think, wow, that's an interesting question. And it should be interesting. It shouldn't be strange. It should just be interesting.
But yeah, when you get the opportunity to go to college, there are definitely people who care about you, your doctors, your professors, your mentors, all of that, and making that connection and getting their insight is always worth it, and they have a lot of stuff to tell you that you didn't think about.
Everyone is dealing with their own issues, but what's most important once you've gotten here is that you do take time for self-care and do acknowledge your mental health and do whatever you can to maintain some stability. Of course, there's no complete balance in life, right? We can't do everything, we're not superheroes, but if you can do just a little bit to make sure that your mental health is also a priority in the foreground along with your goals in education, then you will be better prepared for when you do get to this one step where you're really starting to see your goals come into fruition.